Imagine sacrificing one trophy just to end up on the brink of losing everything. That's exactly what happened to Arsenal. Arsenal have been chasing two big trophies, the Premier League and the Champions League. Now, a couple of weeks ago, they had this big Champions League group stage match against Bayern Munich. It wasn't a knockout game, it wasn't a final, but Arsenal went all in. They threw everything they had into that match, full physical and mental effort. And yes, they won it. But here's where it gets tricky. Because they poured all that energy into a match they could have afforded to ease off on a bit, they came back to the Premier League exhausted. They were top of the league, they had a nice cushion, but then they faced Chelsea. Chelsea went down to 10 men for most of the match, and Arsenal still couldn't beat them because they were just running on fumes. They ended up with a draw. And then comes the next Premier League game against Aston Villa. Now they're dealing with that leftover fatigue, and more importantly, a creeping doubt. They're in a stage of second-guessing themselves because they dropped points against Chelsea. So they go into the Villa game, and in stoppage time, they lose. Now that comfortable lead in the league is down to just 2 points, and Manchester City is right behind them. And we all know when City's behind you, they don't let go. So in the end, by going all out in a not-so-critical Champions League game, Arsenal put themselves in a tough spot in the Premier League. And that's the full story. If you want to win the big ones, you have to play smart, manage your energy, and set your priorities. You wanted to beat Bayern to make a statement, and you did make a bold statement. Everyone was talking about how good Arsenal is, but a statement is not a trophy. You don't win titles in November and December. And by the way, the same thing happened to Bayern against PSG. They played that match as if it was the Champions League final. They put so much energy into that match, and they won it fair and square. But guess what? After that match, their amazing 18-win streak ended with a draw in the Bundesliga. Then they conceded their first defeat this season against Arsenal. So yes, Bayern paid the price as well. Arsenal still leading the Premier League by 2 points, but is that lead comfortable in the Premier League? Absolutely not. Especially when you know that Pep Guardiola and the goal machine Haaland are the ones chasing you. You just motivated them to go all the way in. So their goal is not top 4 anymore. The coming weeks will be interesting, so stay tuned. Thank you for watching and see you next time.